kids.
They don't want their kids to understand that they owe. You know what I'm saying?
Or feel
the
that
shit
guilt
that y'all did to black people demands reparations, demands a payback, demands someone not necessarily looking into it, but addressing those issues, because not only did they go on back then, they still go on today. You know, that all this shit that you see, Donald Trump, January 6th, you know, all those bills about Ahmaud Arbery, Sandra Bland, all that shit has to be added up. You continue to tally, you know, the dollar amount today from those days, from the time of the beginning of slavery. So what the hell, are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
We gotta continue to raise the flag about what the hell is going on.
That's right.
Stay
woke.
The hell with Ron DeSantis and his punk ass. We gonna talk about it. Stop it from being it was never taught in schools. We'll teach it on powerplugradio.com.
That's right. They've been fighting this struggle for a long time, and this critical race theory is a major thing. And I be seeing videos, people don't even really know what it is, but they just trying to basically massage history to make it so their kids not feeling this guilt of what they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. But like you said, bro, we gotta have our own history.
But again, D, they ain't trying to massage it. They don't give a damn about the history. They know the history. They know exactly what the hell happened back then. They just don't want you to understand the full scope of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They want you, black people was enslaved, but it's gone now, so you good. No. You need to know that shit that happened back then affects you right now.
Absolutely.
That some of the things that they were doing then can still continue now.
Absolutely.
You need to know that there were no police in this country, until they decided we need police to catch slaves. You need to understand that, the same disparities, the same economic disadvantages that we had back then during slavery, we still have. Like, if you count the numbers, just say back in the day, slaves didn't make no money, right? But people in poverty might make a couple of dollars, but you still got, just say in slavery you made nothing, and the richest mother, the mugging in the country may had $5 million or $10 million. But now you got somebody here who ain't got nothing, but you got the richest people in the country making hundreds of billions of dollars, almost at the $1 trillion range. You know what I'm saying? Or the average number for the poor is under 12. The numbers are the same. It don't change. Poverty is poverty. Oppression is oppression. You know what I'm saying? The shit don't change. The number of people who are being oppressed back then is probably the same, or who are in poverty back then is probably the same as it is right now. Yeah. And I guarantee you, it won't be more than a percentage point, or two off. I guarantee it. The rich are always, that's how it's intended to be. You can't have capitalism. You can't have the United States of America without poor people and the extraordinarily, ridiculously, and disgustingly rich.
Yep.
That's right.
And giving us the education, man. It's everything. Like Bun said, man. These are the same people that created police to catch slaves.
Yeah.
The same people that made those rules that put us back, like Bunk said, educationally wise, health, where you live at, like all of that is affected by decisions made way back then by people. That mindset was to hang people from trees, bro.
The woke, see, the Stop Woke Act is gonna keep you from understanding this, but being woke tells you that slavery ain't never ended. You know what I'm saying? That's what woke tells you.
Yes, sir.
Woke says the shit's still going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like Emmett Till got murdered in the 50s. Sandra Bland got murdered in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Eric Garner got murdered in the 2000s. George Floyd, and so on, and so on. You try to act like you don't know. That's why they call it an act. To stop the woke. I'm acting like I'm doing some shit, but you ain't really doing shit because we know. You know what I'm saying? Because the people who are woke, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying? It ain't about being, you trying to put to sleep people. You know what I'm saying? So fuck that. You know, we know what the hell going on.
Well, not only is our governor starting this act, he's also punishing local schools who teach the CRT methods. He's defunding these schools, bro.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. What'd you say, James?
Well, we can't rely on the system to teach our children.
Yeah,
we said that.
They're sending a clear message that the system is saying, "Hey, we're not gonna teach Black history, the truth about it.
Yeah,
we're gonna take slavery out. We're gonna take these laws that discriminated against you, that kept you from voting, out. We're gonna take the brutality piece out, and then we're gonna blame you for the conditions that you live under, in present day." Mm-hmm. But and I don't want to change it up too much, but the city of St. Pete had a study, 6-month study, called structural racism study, where they basically concurred that the city of St. Pete has a history, and currently, they have discriminatory practices.
Yeah.
So even in our city, so if it happens here, it's happening everywhere. The city basically admitted that we discriminate against Black people. Systematic racism is real.
Yeah.
They're disproportionately.
Did the city conduct this study?
The city, it was city funded, 6 months.
USF. Okay.
And but what happens now? Okay.
Yeah.
That
was my question.
You got this information. What you gonna do?
That was my question. Especially like, say the city has this information, or if the city had any part in this study, at the end of the study, did the city say this is what we're gonna do to change
outcome and results?
Yeah. What's
the next step?
Yeah. What do they call it? What are the expected outcomes? What do they call it? The outcomes. I can't remember what they call it, but you have to have, like, say,
resolution. You
have to have these resolutions and expect the outcomes. When you do a study like that, when you do, research like that, especially if you're a governing body, you need to be presenting, this is what we expect to come out of this. This is our corrective action. You know what I'm saying? And these are the outcomes that we expect to come from this. Because right now, the city of St. Petersburg, Florida, we can see it on a day-to-day basis how the gentrification is way on the rise. I get
wealth disparities.
I get phone calls and texts 15, 10, 20 times a day about somebody trying to buy my house out of the Black neighborhood. Who don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Spelling your name wrong.
Because I own my house in the Black neighborhood, they want to own it, so that they can put a higher price, put some grass down and drop a higher price tag on it than what they would give me for my house. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, it's never ended. You know what I'm saying? The question always is, not just with, critical race theory, like they trying to stop Black history from being taught. What they're trying to stop is white history. They don't want you to know what white people did to you. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know
protecting their kids,
white history. They don't want you to understand
that true hatred.
How the history of white people as it pertains to Black people, the indigenous and other peoples of color who've lived in this country has been brutal and oppressive and just downright effed up. You know what I'm saying? And it continues today. So that they're trying to stop white history from getting out, the true white history from getting out.
Well, they also saying that it'll affect their kids and their emotions and things like that when you're trying to uplift the suppress. And that means hold on, bro. Listen.
You know I got a comment. Go ahead. You going.
I'm just telling you what I'm reading, bro.
I'm here. Go ahead.
I'm on your side, Bunk.
I know you are.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not. Hey, I gave my dog a face. I know we on we on the radio right now, so y'all can't see my face. But I kind of turned my lip like I don't smoke the.
Yeah, I got you. We live right now.
Of crack or some shit.
Yeah,
because I turned my lip like I'm twitching.
But that's
shit
what I'm saying.
Because
they're now.
Damn, what they saying.
I know. Like they didn't care when. Again, I said like when we was hanging from the trees, like that didn't affect them. But
exactly.
Now they don't want to talk about that history because it's going to affect someone. So it's all like it's backwards. It's ass backwards.
Yeah,
they're trying to protect their kids, but I wonder what kind of effect did it have on their kids when they saw the cop with his knee in George Floyd's neck.
There you go.
Like what was that traumatic to their kids? Were they concerned with that? Or know that they just turn around and defend the police officer, protect the blue?
And that's what. But you saw that. You saw that. You saw immediately the days. Maybe I don't even know if it was the next day, but immediately after that, Blue Lives Matter kind of shit going on. You know, they're having rallies trying to protect the police.
Yeah.
You know, from scrutiny of murdering somebody live on Facebook.
Yeah.
This man got murdered. Everybody in the world saw this man life leave his body, but you got people saying because the local police said they didn't do nothing wrong. The local government said they didn't do nothing wrong. So you got people who are so easily able to accept that what they saw. They saw this man kill George Floyd with zero remorse, a black heart, right there, live on TV. I cried.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo cried as I watched this man's life leave his body.
Yeah.
But they said, oh, well, he black. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit that they don't want. That's white history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Chauvin is white. That's white history. George Floyd is black history. Derek Chauvin is white history. You know what I'm saying? You get me?
I hear you.
That's what people have to understand. Byron De La Beckwith, who killed Medgar Evers, is white history. Medgar Evers is black history.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
James, what's his name? James Earl Ray, who murdered Martin Luther King, is white history. Martin Luther King Jr. is black history. You get me? They don't want you to learn white history. That's the problem. White history is screwed up from the day it was born.
That's right.
Get them, Bunk.
Well,
that's the problem.
Not playing it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just sitting back here like, amen, amen.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
real.
sir.
So you need a glass of water. You need to calm down.
I got my whiskey, but it ain't Friday.
Almost.
I want to sing though, but you know
it's pre-Friday in the man cave, man. But nah,
boy.
And I wanna, you know, I was talking about this study that the city concluded, basically saying that the city has a history of being rotten, and they're talking about even at present day. They still discriminate, towards black folk. But it was the irony is they had in the city it was city promoted. The current mayor was out there. The incoming mayor, he was out there, and they had a reunion for the gas plant neighborhood and Laurel Park neighborhood. That's where Tropicana Field is.
Yeah.
They displaced those people, but the irony of it is they're out there celebrating people that they lied to.
Exactly.
They destroyed a community. a thriving community, shut down businesses, made all kind of promises.
That was where the majority of black businesses were. Go ahead, Jay.
You had homeowners, again, business owners, but they promised these people a better day. They made promises of relocating businesses and finding new homes and cash, and never delivered on. So it's just man, it's the blatant disrespect of it all.
It is.
And we gotta hold on to who we are. We gotta understand our relationship with the system has never changed, and it never will.
In USF, we talked about this. I don't know, it was a few months ago. About that. That burial site thing that happened. They got these grave sites that supposedly be under. Black people were buried up under Tropicana Field. You know what I'm saying? That they ain't never dealt with here in St. Pete either, man. So the history of this town. The white history and the black history of this town really, really needs to be learned and understood, for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? There's been a history of struggle in St. Pete. Everybody knows about it. Everybody done seen in the 90s when black people in this town rose up around the murder of Tyron Lewis. You know what I'm saying?
Put the city on the map.
Put the city on the map. Y'all see, the world saw our struggles with the city of St. Petersburg. You know what I'm saying? And there's been a movement in this city that's been here since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? And before that, you know what I'm saying? But they don't, that's not what gets talked about. That's not what gets into the hearts and minds of black folks, man. You just get, St. Pete got the greatest beaches and this and all that. We have, the Rays, and we got, we're in Tampa Bay with the Bucks and all this and stuff.
Downtown.
But downtown is just great. But, there's something
great place to retire.
On the outside looking in.
There is something behind that because, not less than a mile from all of that is some of the poorest communities in this country, and St. Pete has the cash to flip that on top of his head, but they will not do it. You know what I'm saying? The state of Florida has the money to do something about that, but they won't do it. I want to read you something that Ron DeSantis said. His quote while promoting the Stop the Woke Act, the Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act, Stop the Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act. His quote was, "We won't allow Florida tax dollars to be spent teaching kids to hate our country or hate each other."
Built off of hate.
We won't teach our kids. We won't spend our money teaching our kids to hate our country or to hate each other. You know what I'm saying? But your act is based on hatred.
Yes.
You're denying an education to white people, black people, anybody, people of anybody who ever wanted to know about what the hell happened, how this country was really built. You're denying it. That's a hateful, that's a brutality. That's a violence against people to deny them an education about what really happened in this country. And you talking about stopping hate.
Yeah.
You're the most hateful a-hole the state done never seen, bro. So, come on, dog. We got to tell the truth about these people, man.
That's right, man.
Yeah. You can't change history regardless.
No, can't.
So, our job, our responsibility is to get the truth out, man.
Yeah.
In school, that's not the way to get the truth out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts in the home, it starts in the community, and it's on us. More than ever, man, more than ever, we're the ones that have to raise ourselves up. They're not gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
They don't want the relationship to change. They don't want the narrative to change. We have to change it.
Yeah. And exactly. I don't know if we can we Mama producer, can we take calls or no? Are we still 727-686
on the books?
0512, man. If y'all
live on the books, we live on.
If y'all want to, man,
Instagram.
call us in here because this is a big discussion, man. Right now. This guy is introducing the act to make your kids dumb. To understand that, so we can't allow that to happen. So if you have anything you want to say about that, 727-686-0512, and you can still figure out how to you can still check those 5 ways to listen. You can catch us live on Facebook. You can download the app in the Apple Store or Google Play. You can tell Alexa, what you tell them, D?
I want to hear Big Ballin'.
Yeah, tell Alexa you want to hear Power
Want to
Plug
hear
Radio.
Power Plug Radio?
www.powerplug.com. You can subscribe to the Power Plug Radio station on your favorite channel, and you can join the conversation through our number 727-686-0512. Power Plug Radio ain't playing. We ain't MFing playing, dog.
Hey, you ask and you shall receive.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We about to get into some other stuff, but make sure y'all, if you want to talk about that woke act, please call us, man.
Yeah.
What else is in the news, fellas?
Man, prime time.
Prime
Deion Sanders.
Prime
Jackson
time.
Deion Sanders.
He shook up the recruiting world. Yesterday. He got a 5-star recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a caller.
Who we got checking in the man cave?
Man cave, who we got in
we got?
Don't even start the fuckery tonight.
Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey.
There you go.
We talking about Hey, hold up. Calm down. Hey, we talking about Deion Sanders and how he reeled in the big fish, the number 1 recruit in America yesterday, and basically sent shockwaves through the college football by signing Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take on that, Phil?
Here's my take on that. First of all, Deion Sanders maintained an impeccable record as a football player, and he has transformed the Jackson State program in very little to no time. And this is what needs to be considered. FSU is sitting over there with Mike Norville, who had reeled Travis Hunter in. However, Deion Sanders stole him. So FSU loses the number 1 recruit in the nation and extends the contract of Mike Norville, but you had an African-American coach 2 years earlier. You cut his throat.
Are you talking about Willie Taggart?
You talking about Taggart?
Yeah, we're talking about Willie Taggart, whose throat they cut and he got him for $19 million on the hook. But you trade him in. Mike Norville has not done any better, but there is no pressure on him to win. They're going to give him, as Coach Norville will give you, as much time as you need to transform our program. Man, those people are used to winning national championships, and the same thing with Florida. They have played for national championships, and now the state of Florida football as a whole has really taken a turn for the worse. You got the Hurricanes down there. They fired Manny Diaz, and they've hired a guy of their own. So I'm waiting to see how that's going to turn out. Florida hired a young Billy Napier. Mm-hmm. The jury's going to be out on him.
What you think? Go ahead.
Let me
we gotta stay on the
Phil, let me ask you this. So do you think, this is going to be a trend in college football with big time recruits going to historically black programs?
Yeah, I want to say this, and I want to let the listeners know that if you follow HBCU football for the last 50, 60 years, 34 Hall of Famers from 17 HBCU up into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
So I think it's going to be a trend, and I don't know if y'all up on this. Hugh Jackson, who was a former head coach of the Cleveland Browns, has taken over as the head coach at Grambling State University.
True that.
That's right.
Eddie George is the head coach at Tennessee State.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I want to add to what you said about kind of like the history of black college football, because it's amazing how everything seems to come back around. Because once upon a time they didn't want that black athlete on white campuses. You ain't have no choice but to go to Grambling or FAMU.
Exactly.
And some of the teams that Jake Gaither and Eddie Robinson put together, man, I guarantee you, no team in modern day could match some of the teams that they had back in the day. So, man, I'm loving what Deion did yesterday, man. It's big, it's trend setting, and kudos to the kid.
Yeah,
he sacrificed a lot to say, hey, man, I'm going to a historically black college.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, we just talked about them not teaching critical race theory in school, and this man, I don't even know if that had anything to do with it, but it's historic.
It's definitely historic.
It's a historic thing. The number one, I mean, in this day and time, in the time of Trump and all this bullshit, the number one player in the country said, I'm not going to go to this team in the Deep South and play for Florida State or whatever. I'm going to go to this other team.
Bunk didn't say the Deep South.
No, this is the Deep South. Florida State is the deep. We're going to go to this other school in the South and play for
black college.
A school that, caters to the black athlete, and I'm going to show, especially with this NIL stuff, that I can make my mark here, make some money, and still be a superstar and get drafted into the NFL.
Now I'm going to ask
that could be a super game changer.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys something, because I feel like there's something. Let me ask you guys something. Do you all think NIL deals are going to ruin college football?
No, I don't.
I want to add to that. A lot of people say, that was kind of like, what brought him to Jackson State. But, what Deion said was, y'all let him come down here and take a recruiting trip at Jackson State. That was the game changer.
Yeah.
Just the culture, the environment, the black experience. Man, he's gonna love his time at Jackson State. I was fortunate enough to go to Clark Atlanta, and man, he's really gonna find himself there. He's not seen as just a number or seen as just an athlete. He doesn't have to watch over his back or have somebody suspicious of him. It's a win-win for him. It's like, because historically black colleges, the campuses, man, it's like family.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You're around your own people for one. Culturally, you feel at home. And what some people don't realize either, that in some of those in your classes at HBCU, you may have a white professor. That's been a trend for a long time. Like at Florida A&M, they have white professors. At Bethune-Cookman, they have white professors. Sure. But overall, when you on the yard at a college campus at a HBCU, man, that's all you see.
That's right.
You see a lot of good people.
There's, these black colleges, man, they have resources now, man. NIL, of course, it plays a role in it. But if you can get a kid on campus, man, and take him around, like, there's no way that he's not gonna be left impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
No doubt.
But I mean,
Let me get in here, Bunk. Let me get in here, Bunk. I've been patiently waiting because you know this is my team.
That's right.
All right, and
Jazz, you your team? Okay,
I follow them. No, you know my team, Bunk.
Hey,
Stop
good.
playing. It stung. You know, I was just talking to the fellas last week about him, how he was going to come to Florida State and start both ways, and they were like, "Are you crazy?" Like, no, but he gonna start both ways for Jacksonville as well. It's bigger than a choice. Deion had a big factor into it. The NIL had a major factor into it because I'll ask the question now: if he didn't get that NIL money, do you think? I love black campuses as well, fellas. All right, I've been on FAMU many times, Bethune, Howard, Tennessee State. I know about it. So if he didn't have the NIL money, would he have chosen Jacksonville?
No, I think he'd have go ahead and went to Florida State, bro. That NIL had a lot to do with it, I believe.
It had a
listen
major,
to me.
major.
Now, I hear what you. I don't know if that's the truth because it ain't like.
Bunk, it's never happened before.
I know,
No,
but NIL has never happened before.
That's what I'm saying.
Deion Sanders
what
has
I'm
never
saying,
happened before.
what I'm saying, the situation, I'm like, this kid loses nothing. If it was no NIL, he loses nothing going to Jacksonville State and playing for an 11-1 team under Deion Sanders, then going to a 5-7 team and going to play with Norville. He loses nothing. He loses nothing. What are you talking about?
I just want
The NIL was a kicker, yes, but he loses nothing. You talking about? The NFL is going to see. This NFL is going to see Travis Hunter wherever he is.
Don't stop it.
listen.
That's the truth.
Hey, Phil. Phil.
He would Bump.
Hold
He
on.
would not have gone to Florida State.
Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Jackson State has more resources than Florida State to pay players?
Definitely not, man. Come on, man.
So how can you say it was about money if FSU could have gotten more? You don't think that if it's a bidding war, you don't think that Florida State could have came up with more money? Let's be for real.
Florida State could have, but they didn't. And that's why they lost it.
I don't think they could have, because I think they would have if they could have. I think.
Why not? Why wouldn't you think?
Well, first of all, it's a third party, so this Barstool company.
Yeah, but they're all
Deion Sanders is part owner.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, you're talking about an outside entity, but you're still in cahoots with the university. Let's stop fooling ourselves. Bottom line is, Jackson State doesn't have the days that FSU have. They still beat them out. You can't just say that. You can't say that they outbid. How can you say that?
They beat him out on money and a name.
Listen,
I don't think they did.
I don't think that they did. Listen, I'm gonna tell. Listen. What I gotta say. This is Jackson State. Jackson State has Deion Sanders as a coach, a Hall of Fame football player, had 11-1 record. Florida State lost to Jacksonville State this year, not Jackson State. Listen, hold on.
Okay.
They lost to Jacksonville State, another team who Jackson State would have destroyed. Period. If you talking about just X's and O's, football, Jackson State is better than Florida State. If you talk, this year, I ain't saying historically. This year, Jackson State State played Florida State this year. They'll beat the shit out of them.
I want to add something else.
Stop it.
I want to add something.
I can't sit here and hear this.
Let's understand.
Truth.
Travis Hunter could have went to any school in America.
Absolutely.
Take Florida State out of the equation. Are you telling me that Jackson State has more resources than any other school in America, and that's why they got this kid? Because if that was the case, he wouldn't be the only kid that they got. That's a household name. Their entire like their class would be in the top 10.
Deion Sanders.
And I wanna add something else. He committed to Florida State as a sophomore. For 2 years, he was committed to FSU. Deion Sanders knew that this kid, you want to go to FSU because of me.
Yeah.
Why don't you come play for me?
Exactly.
I can make you me. You inspire to be me.
Yeah, I can get you to do
I am Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Florida State can't make you. That's the sale.
Yeah.
We can't take it. We can't take away what what Deion Sanders was able to do.
Yeah,
he was able to sell this kid.
He was.
Yeah.
So
And the kid was right for it.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to FSU, I believe, in part because, Deion Sanders, that's my favorite player.
Well,
that's
not
who I
only
aspire to be like.
not only that, because of the history of defensive backs that are playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But you talking about, I totally agree with what James saying. You talking about a guy like Deion, if he was playing today with NIL, he would be probably, making $5-10 million before he got out of college. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got this guy who can groom you and teach you how to milk that shit to your advantage, man. That's a huge thing. I'm the number one recruit in the country, and I'm finna get taught the way to be prime time, and that's big.
Deion Sanders was huge in his decision, so that was one of one. But I don't think anybody was offering the same amount of money that Jacksonville State was.
Why not? He was the number one recruit.
I don't know that. But
Alabama's quarterback at the start of the year was at $1 million.
But also,
he's probably at $2 million right now.
But I'm not saying.
But he wasn't the number one player in the entire country.
The money was not the sole thing.
No.
Okay.
That's what we're saying. I don't think money was an issue because he was going to
get paid any way he wanted.
He was going to get the and it's not just money. There's all kind of benefits that you can get. You don't have to even chalk it up to, this is what's going to go in your account. There could be so many other things.
It is.
There's other perks.
It is other perks, but I'm just saying that money played a factor. He gets coached by his legend. He wanted to be under Deion, but Bunk, some of that stuff you were saying, I can't agree with that, brother. I'm just sorry,
you can't.
man.
But
I'm sorry.
the thing about
maybe the part about Jackson State beating Florida State.
Maybe you
don't agree with that.
How about this? I'm gonna go to Florida State, right, where the majority of the students are. I ain't saying it's. I don't know what the black to white percentage is at Florida State, right? There are going to be beautiful women on both sides of the ball. But at Jackson State, it's 90%. And,
come on, that man ain't thinking about that. That's going to be everywhere, Bunk.
Well, he obviously
high in hell.
Come
he
on.
thinking about something.
All of these things you're saying had no factors to me.
Black women
Our record
are the most beautiful thing that was ever created on the face of this fucking planet.
Okay.
And
I agree.
he finna go to a school where it's probably 70-30, 60-40. And I'm gonna have $1 million in my pocket.